It's time to start your morning by taking 5. Here's your host, Matt McMaster.
You're listening to Take 5, a quick 5-minute take on the biggest things happening in Nebraska sports. I'm your host, Matt McMaster. Today, we are talking about Nebraska football, and I asked the question, why so quiet? Why was this spring season and what now is leading into the summer and what will eventually be the dog days of the summer before we get to fall camp, why was this spring so quiet? Why was there not as much talk about players, not as much talk about what individually guys have been doing, what they've been improving on? Why has it seemed like in some instances, in some cases on this roster, have we been left in the dark to what is going on at Nebraska football? I think that some people might say maybe Matt Rhule doesn't have as much confidence in his group this season as he did last season. Maybe Matt Rhule, doesn't want to eat his own words like maybe he had to do when he said, we're a year ahead of the process. Maybe Matt Rhule just doesn't think this team is that good and that he doesn't want to tell everybody what's not true. I disagree with all that. I think Matt Rhule isn't saying a lot about this team and individual players and how they've been playing because he doesn't have to. Plain and simple. He doesn't have to. Matt Rhule doesn't have to tell you, hey, Vincent Shavers is doing this and he looks great and these are the things that he's improved on. Hey, Willis McGahee has made these strides and we're really excited for what he's going to do. He's not telling you that because he doesn't have to tell you that. He doesn't have to hype up this team or get people excited about it because that's what he's been doing the last 2 years. He has been building this roster through recruiting, through high school, through the portal, and whether a guy looks good or not, fans are going to be invested. Fans are going to show up to the game. Fans are going to sell out Memorial Stadium. Fans are going to go to Arrowhead and Kansas City to watch them play Cincinnati at 8 o'clock, regardless of whether or not he gives you an update on what their second string linebacker looks like. And that's fine. Because, in my opinion, I think how Matt Rhule used the media over the last 2 seasons has been a double-edged sword. Because I think Matt Rhule uses the media to instill confidence in his players. I think there are certain players on that team that if they see on Twitter, or they see on YouTube, or they get a text from their family member or their friend saying, hey, look at what your head coach said about you to the media, that instills confidence in them. That says, oh, wow, if he really believes that and he's telling everyone that that's what he sees in me, maybe I should see it in myself more and they go out and play better. Right? That's one of the reasons I think why he talks about players, and especially players that maybe you think are lower on the depth chart. But at the same time, Matt Rhule has talked about players very highly that weren't as high, or that was high on the depth chart, that were guys that were going to be high-level producers, that were bona fide starters. He said very, very nice things about them, and people got really, really excited about them. People thought they were going to be great. People thought they were going to make an impact. They were drinking the Kool-Aid. They thought, wow, if the coach is saying this about Jeff Sims, then Jeff Sims must be incredible. He must be great. And then he wasn't. And then Matt Rhule had to eat crow. And it didn't look good. It didn't look good for Matt Rhule. And there's been a couple other of those instances where he said, this player's going to look good and he's going to be great. And he maybe didn't reach those expectations. And then there's some trust lost in the team. I think Matt Rhule realizes now he doesn't need to do that. We are going to be fully invested, fully watching, fully just eating up as much Husker football material, regardless whether or not he says that certain guys look good. And you know what? I don't think, when I said earlier that there might be people who think, maybe he has lost confidence in the team or lost confidence in the roster, so he's not talking about him as much. I think it's the opposite. I think Matt Rhule has so much confidence in this team and what he's built that he knows he just feels he doesn't have to say anything. These are his guys now. A vast majority of the players on this roster this season are from his recruitment, his evaluation, whether it be from high school or the portal. There are guys who are going to play this year who have been in Matt Rhule's Nebraska football program the minute he stepped foot in Lincoln. He's been with these guys, some of these guys, for an extended period of time. He's been able to put his hands on them and develop them in the way that he believes. Matt Rhule doesn't have to say anything because Matt Rhule knows what he has. And you know what? To take it a step further, I think this team knows what they have as well. Now, whether that is 8 wins, whether that is 7 wins, whether that is 9 wins, whether they're able to get over certain humps, whether the coaching that they've hired is going to be as effective as we hope it to be, we'll find out on Saturdays during the fall. But when it comes to the question, why is Matt Rhule, why did he not talk a lot specifically about his team this season? It just comes down to one thing. He knows what he has, and he doesn't have to. That's been Take 5, and I've been Matt McMaster.